Welcome to Digital Transformation Bite Size. This is a series where I interview thought leaders and experts in the digital transformation, intelligent automation, and data analytics space. Welcome, Alec. Good to see you today.
Brilliant. Thanks, Kieran. Thanks for your time.
Okay, let's jump into the questions then, Alec. What excites you about the digital transformation space?
Excites me. It's been a long road to get here, I think, Kieran. What I've seen with RPA is the opportunity to automate kind of basic processes, typically back office processes. But what I'm seeing about the digital transformation space is moving into more intelligent automation or kind of wider scope, more technologies in that space, and kind of the ability for automation to fundamentally change the way of work. I think that's incredibly exciting.
Isn't it just? It's a really exciting space. So what types of technologies are you using, Alec?
So what we're seeing a big uptake with Blue Prism, the RPA tool, is bolting on kind of complementary technologies. Kind of OCR is a big one currently. We've got kind of product in that space, Decipher, but that kind of ability to digitalize, processes that typically use paper triggers and push that into a tool like Blue Prism to automate, and then obviously going into back office applications is kind of a huge tool. It's opening up more opportunities for automation in many organizations.
In what direction do you see the digital transformation industry moving?
I see, especially kind of after COVID, I see us accelerating into far bigger, more ambitious transformation projects with kind of automation at the heart of those. I see organizations being far braver with automation and taking automation into those transformation projects and using it as a kind of core part of those, kind of critical lever to fundamentally change the way of work.
Oh, wow. When organizations are delivering their programs of work, they have a couple of choices of delivery methods. For example, they could use Agile, they could use Waterfall, they could use DevOps. What do you think organizations, or what method do you think organizations should use to best deliver in this digital age?
I've seen a range of kind of approaches to this, Kieran. So typically my advice would be to use what's currently happening in those organizations, the current methodologies that are being used, and to harness those. With automation, it's typically sometimes a kind of hybrid approach, especially with RPA, if you're looking at existing processes and looking to automate those. Typically a hybrid approach between Waterfall and Agile is useful, but equally I've seen a lot of value in a kind of DevOps approach. So my time at John Lewis Partnership, I saw huge value in that space with DevOps. New team with RPA is usual, and actually embracing a kind of DevOps approach can help that team function very efficiently.
And if I had to press you, Alec, to say, okay, you've now got one choice in life. It's Agile, it's Waterfall, it's DevOps. Could I force you into a corner there and get you to pick one?
I'm a big DevOps fan, Kieran, so I think it would be DevOps. I see kind of huge value in that. And I don't necessarily think it's a kind of one choice or another. I've seen DevOps work very well with a kind of Kanban Agile approach, that kind of methodology, lean, continuous improvement mindset. I found kind of huge value in that in some of my previous working experiences.
I knew I'd get you locked down here. Just one thing, trust me on that one, you see. I think it's interesting. I was reading a funny on LinkedIn, and funny said, what transformed organizations in 2020? Was it RPA and IA? Was it a CIO? Was it the CFO? Or was it COVID? And most people replied, it was COVID. Do you agree with that?
No, you could completely. It's been a huge change. It's forced businesses to change the way of work, forced some home working. And what I think it has done is it's changed that mindset of approach to risk. So I think organizations now have been forced to do things that previously they might have thought were a bit risky. And so that mindset then can be applied to bringing on new technologies and transforming their organizations post-COVID, which is hopefully this year, Kieran.
Hopefully to God. Do you see any challenges post-COVID for organizations or rolling out automation, that is?
For automation, no more challenges than there were before. I guess there's the idea that they should be moving a lot quicker. I think probably pre-COVID there were wider challenges. I deal with the retail market, and there was obviously a lot of challenges within retail pre-COVID, and COVID has just accelerated those. So I think coming out of COVID, there'll just be that expectation to move a little bit quicker with these projects. But hopefully that kind of new approach to risk will help them, will help these organizations. And obviously kind of consultancies and software vendors will be there as well to assist them.
I use a phrase different times, Alec, that says 3 things need to change in an organization: product set, skill set, and mindset. What do you think of those 3, and is one more important than the other?
I would say mindset for me is very, very important. I certainly tried when I was at John Lewis as a head of to build in that mindset to a new team, building that culture, and install some confidence in the team. I think that's a huge factor. It enables teams to be a little bit braver and push the boundaries. So that would be for me the most important one.
What have you done to try and drive people's mindset toward automation?
So I think at Blue Prism, and obviously a lot of organizations there, we have that as a focus to install a vision within an organization as to how to approach automation. I feel that kind of trickles into kind of culture, how to have a kind of cultural change to automation. And there's an awful lot of work done with that, as well as the consultancies will provide that as well. But it's giving those organizations confidence that automation can be a tool for them to successfully drive transformation in their organizations.
You've had a long and distinguished career. What moments do you remember the most in terms of exciting deliveries from an automation perspective?
So I think back, Kieran, I think my time at Capita, 2014, we did a lot of back office automation. This was for local authorities, but we promoted forms to these local authorities' citizens that they could fill in, and then there would be a kind of a back office process run to fulfill that request. But that kind of end-to-end automation was huge to me, and looking back, it was quite ahead of its time. Some of the work I did at John Lewis with the team there, again, that was expanding upon kind of core RPA and bolting on some intelligence. So there was a fraud detection process there, the kind of price matching that John Lewis performs. Again, those processes are kind of heavy automation in the background. Large transactions, basic rules, but quite complex, kind of an end-to-end process. So again, those are the ones that stand out for me.
Wow. And if you were giving advices to any companies still thinking about getting into automation and digitally transforming, what would you be saying to them?
I think I'd be a little braver, Kieran. I think my time at John Lewis taught me to be, I could have been more braver, engage with new functions, promote the benefits of automation, and see it as as I said before, a kind of critical lever within kind of transformation projects toolbox. So that would be the takeaway from me on that front.
Gosh, Alec, look, thank you so much for spending time with us today. Folks, that's the end of today's Digital Transformation Bite-Size episode. If anybody has any questions or wants to know a little bit more, Alec, how should they reach out to you?
They can reach out to me on LinkedIn, Kieran. So I'd be happy to take any questions anyone has.
Fantastic. I'll put your bio or LinkedIn link in the comment section of this. Alec, look, thanks very much. Everybody stay safe, stay well, and until next time, I'll see you on Digital Transformation Bite-Size.